is from Let's from PNCA. What has been what is being done to ensure that the approach of de-escalation becomes the norm among SAPS commanders on the ground? Because that seems to be the challenge. Negotiating and facilitating the exercise of the rights to protest while safeguarding lives and property does always seem like commanders of crowd control units are aware of that there is to de-escalate the situation while balancing these interests. That's what we have so far.
Thank you so much, Minister. Over to you.
Commissioner will answer what happened to the people. They were released, but what happened Mangoba, on the day, fateful day where Mthokozis was killed, there were 25 protests in South Africa. 25 on the day. But you know only one. Mthokozis one. But there were 25. Once they are done properly, they don't make news, those protests. They make news when we make a mistake. So it cannot be generic to say police are not trained to handle these things. If 25 of them, 24 are not known, which means somebody has done correct, did not attract news out of it. So indeed, in South Africa, I think last year, financial year, there were 10,000 peaceful protests and 4,000 violent protests. So I would then not concur with you to say that police are not trained. There will be a situation where people will get out of the way, as it has happened with the Mthokozisi, and then you depend what kind of responses you take. As we have taken responses there, the IP has been part of that. The case is going on, and then try to come on board with the family and be part of the family. By the way, at no stage, maybe taking the opportunity, at no stage where we promised that family the assistance on funeral or any form of monetary assistance. At no stage. I remember somebody said so, that we went there and lied that we'll promise. We just don't do that. What we usually do, we allow the legal processes to take place. And what we said to the family is that we'll fully cooperate when these things are done. Police will give all the information, or the IP will fully cooperate going forward. And then the legal processes then take place as it has happened with Marikana, where we have paid the compensation after those legal processes have taken place. But in the family of Ntumba, we did not even discuss, it was not even raised, the question of funeral, the question of kids and all that. So somebody just decided to go out and lie for whatever reason. I don't know why we want to make a political mileage over the dead body. So I wanted to make that point on this one. The commissioner will answer on this one. We did say that there are cases that are going on Marikana issue. I think there are 9 people that our police that are on the trial there that have been charged. And once they're in charge, they are out of the police hands. They are in the prosecution hands. What we always do is to cooperate and make sure that those legal processes they take place. Commissioner will add what happened with Tatane, but those police were arrested, and the prosecution did not prosecute. Then that question then gets out of the hands of the police, and it becomes the issue of the legal system and prosecution. I think similarly, de-escalation. Maybe that goes to the first question. We do have the problem where the police don't start where they're supposed to start. I've been saying this thing. I hope is not regarded as an excuse. There is a Concord judgment here that has put the police on the back foot. Never the police would stop the legal is a constitutional right for the people of South African communities to march. But the law was saying, let's sit down, give us your route, give us the numbers that will be there, the time and all that, so that as the police we prepare in equal basis of the event that will be there. The Concord said no. People have a right to march, which is correct, to protest, which is correct. Having not announced that, now it puts the police on the back foot of they are only called when the thing is happening, and the Concord said you can only respond when there is violence. So it makes that element of preparedness then less. That would be the part of the training now. How do you respond as you used to sit down and discuss? That is not happening now. So the de-escalation must be part of the police response, which was easy when people were discussing, which was easy to de-escalate by knowing the route and reminding the people that you can't arm and all that. What has happened, the emphasis on violence, because I don't know if we understand that the box morph match can be very destructive. To say, don't do those things like fire, but respond in a proper way as the police. Now is an issue of responding while the situation has been happening. I think that has caught us on the back foot a little bit, but that will be the part of the training, as we say, loud tailors and all that. You don't have to start by stun grenades as you come, by tear gas, by water. You need to talk, you need to shout, you need to do everything, and then you go on different steps before it comes to there. Commissioner will answer on the rubber bullets and what happens to the police of Taitane, but legally their case was withdrawn.
Thank you very much, Minister, for the opportunity. Firstly, on the question of the use of rubber bullets. So we are not going to stop the use of rubber bullets, but we are going to change the SOP, the standard operational procedure. And we are also going to issue a new national instruction regarding how they should be utilized. There's going to be more stricter provisions for the police to make use of rubber bullets. Like, for instance, as the person was asking the question, was raising the issue of distance, I think the SOP will also further prescribe the distance issue to say if rubber bullets will be shot at this distance, it will be a violation of that particular SOP. And we're going to be strictly monitoring it. But I think we must just be open and frank to say it will be impossible to stop the use of rubber bullet. And I've also taken the input to say, yes, we will need to intensify training and also emphasize on it so that we become more professional in utilizing rubber bullets. The second question, the minister has partly answered it. He indicated that the members who were involved in the Tatane matter, I think, were immediately arrested by IPIT. In each case where IPIT arrests the members, they also make recommendations for departmental action to be taken. And as they arrested them, we commissioned the internal investigation, and those members were suspended. The case went on, but after a long process, the judge decided the members were acquitted. They were not found guilty. And as a result of that, the departmental action could not be as harsh as it would be, but then there were sanctions out of the departmental process, which did not necessarily amount to dismissal because the court cleared them. Further than that, the members were also subjected to a psychological process, which is part of our employment, health, and wellness processes, to see if they were still fit to can deal with public order matters, whether to remain in the environment from a psychological point of view. And some of them were cleared out of the environment and deployed in other areas. Yet few of them were allowed to continue. That is the situation with the Tatane matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, General. We are about to bring this press conference to a close, but before we do that, I think we would all like to hear from the panel of experts, and I would like to join or like to ask Mr. Clark to join us in giving us his input. And also, there was a question that was raised about whether or not this report will find its way to community members. Maybe you can also just touch on that, please, Mr. Clark. And then, Minister, there is just one last question, I believe, on WhatsApp that will be read out after Mr. Clark has made his input. Maybe rather, because I've got the floor. Let me just read that question so that when Mr. Clark is done, the minister can come through and answer those questions. Go ahead.
Thank you. There's two last questions. The first one is from Hausa that they've asked, in a country with so much crime, why is it that the SAPS manages to deploy large numbers of armed officers to protest that are lawful and don't involve any armed persons? Recently, this university said it never even asked for help from the SAPS, yet involvement resulted in a man being killed. Why was it important for the SAPS for such heavy deployment to the protest that has been happening at the beginning of each year? And then the last.
This is the last one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's directed to the minister. It's from Ian Van Tetler from David Maverick. And they've asked Minister, in the past, you have been heard encouraging police to defend themselves. In your most recent utterances, you went as far as saying, quote, remember the law allows you to use their defense. Unquote. Does the minister not view these comments as encouraging the violence sometimes witnessed by police?
Thank you very much. Can you please join us, Mr. Clark?
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, National Commissioner. I stand here today with a heavy heart because the custodian of the report, the late Judge Nishangazi, is not with us. I think that the minister has acknowledged his role that he's played, and we are grateful to him and his family for him leading us towards our completion of our task. The minister has led on the release of this report. The report has to be understood as a tool. It's one of the opportunities we have to debate the kind of police that we deserve and the kind of police we want. And with the minister's guidance, it's now been released. And we are confident that the public, both local and global, will consider what's in the report and give feedback, if not to the ministry, then directly to the Civilian Secretariat. And that public engagement will only enrich the efforts that is needed for the South African Police Service to do the job that they are doing, that we all acknowledge is not an easy one, in a way that we can all be proud of. So once again, the report is there. It's a tool. Please use it. Please comment on it. You're invited to deal with it and its many annexures. That's all available on the website. And once again, to the Minister, the National Commissioner, thank you. And to Mr. Alvin Rapier, good luck in taking forward everything that is in this report. And to the members of the panel, both local, we had members on the panel from Brazil, we had members of the panel from the Netherlands, from Russia, from Zimbabwe, and we had leadership from our colleagues within the South African Police Service, and we had a member from the Civilian Secretariat who was with us through all this time. We had engagement with IPID, the NPA, and a range of community organizations, and we hope that we've done them justice in the report that we've put forward. And we thank you for your continued interest. Thank you.
This is the report. This is the report. Marikana Panel of Experts Part 1. Marikana Panel of Experts Part 2. So, okay, you are going to read and read serious by yourself. We've been reading. There are 136 recommendations that are here. I don't know if I had the question very well that the police responded having not been called. The job of the South African police is prescribed. It's on 205 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, sub 3. So if you are a police officer, you stole and they don't give you your job prescription. We don't give. So if you get employed, they give you. Police, they have there in the Constitution that you protect, you prevent, you investigate, you protect the inhabitants of South Africa and enforce the law. You are not told, nobody calls on you. It's a Constitution and the code of conduct on that particular day when you take an oath, police take an oath. So anything, for instance, on this day, especially the second day, I don't know if you saw that there was an attack from the students on the restaurants. They raided some few restaurants around there. I don't know if you did see that. And then the communities and the owners were calling to say, while we understand the issue of the students, but ourselves were trying, we've been under COVID, was just beginning to walk and all that. So police have to respond to whoever is calling because your life is threatened, because there is violence. There was fire there. You could see the fire. There were several cars that were attacked and they were stoned and broken, including one of the convoys of the presidential. But that was many people. I saw some these YouTubes saying President Ramaphosa has been attacked. No, that was a convoy of former President Zuma. It wasn't. It wasn't President Ramaphosa, who was not even in Pretoria on that particular day. He was in Cape Town. Was not even here. So police, they respond either called or not called, as per the instruction of the Constitution, to protect the inhabitants, uphold the law, and enforce it. So don't think that they'll only come when you have called them. Sometimes they're called by neighbors when there is noise until 1 and all that, they would come. So it does not necessarily follow that the universities, it's always better if universities work with the police and all that, is always better. But if it is not so, and the public is disturbed and there's some form of violence or fear of that, the police must be there. But we have agreed and we agree, use the softest approach on it and the minimum response of force if necessary. But the first approach is a very soft approach. The second one, I've been answering this question for many years, of use of force. It's not me that is saying police must use force, including the last interview I had with Paul. I have explained it. At least I'm glad we are shifting now. I've been accused of using the words shoot to kill. I've challenged, and I'm challenging, and I will forever challenge one journalist that comes with electronic evidence or print evidence where it said shoot to kill. That I've not said, not once. What I've said to the police, they are allowed by Criminal Procedure Act, Special Section 49. I know it's under amendments as we speak, but that has just gone to Parliament. As it stands, Section 49 says the arrester, which is the police, has a right to protect any citizen that is under threat using force. But if the life of the officer is under threat, you have a right to use a deadly force. That's a word used there, deadly force. So I've just been repeating that, and indeed, I've been calling the police not to die with their guns in their hands. Within the law, within the full understanding that they are policing on the culture of human rights under democratic dispensation, but that should not also give them the right to do things outside the law, but also their own lives and the citizens that are protected by them must be still taken care of. So you go and read the Section 49 of Criminal Procedure Act, sub 1, 2, 3. Will tell you how that instruct how the police should do their work. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Minister. I'm sure that our media colleagues will do just that and go and read up on that section. But before we do bring this press conference to a close, there has been a request, Minister, that we have a symbolic sort of handover of the report. It's a very lengthy report from the chair to yourselves, to the National Commissioner as well, and of course the Civilian Secretariat. This is obviously for photo opportunity. And while this is happening, I'd just like to thank our media colleagues for attending this press conference, and of course the GCIS for making this morning possible. We really appreciate it. And thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Minister, on behalf of the judge, my colleagues at the SAPS and the international community, thank you very much for the awesome.
Well, there's a report. I'm told that is on all our networks of the Secretariat and the South African Police. It's quite a read. you don't read it once, it's quite a read. I'm sure we'll go to it and we'll be getting further questions on the matters. But most importantly, 136 recommendations. Some of them I immediate to work on them. Some of them are medium, some of them are long. But others will be obsolete because we have been taken care of the other processes. One of those processes is the Amendment Bill of the South African Police, where some of these recommendations are put in that bill to be a law. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. Rapia. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Thank you also to the members of the media. And this press conference is closed.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. I'll take them.
I'll hold it for you.
Okay. Thank you.